Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, Drew Gann and Rusty Witten. Now, let's get to the show.
What up? What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the Two Buck Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets, here live on your lunch break on this Tuesday. I got my guy, Drew Gann. I think that's Drew Gann. I have not seen nor heard from him much since our show on Thursday. Drew, if that's you, I need you to blink twice to let me know you're not a bot. What's up, man? How are you?
I am good. I'm good. It's a beautiful day here in North Mississippi. Lots of things to be happy about, despite one of them not being our favorite basketball team.
Yeah. Plenty to talk about, plenty more about that to come. But tonight, 6 p.m., we're doing a live pre-game show again at Ghost River Brewing Company, 827 South Main Street, the best venue in all of Memphis to watch a game. You've got the inside bar, the outside turf area, the big screens. We're doing $5 draft, $6 cocktails again, new wing order in the kitchen. I cannot overhype the cheese curds and the Memphis Buffalo wings. Y'all come hang out with us tonight. 6 p.m. show, 6:30 tip. Ghost River is opening specifically for us tonight. So y'all come out in numbers. Let's go Grizz. Uncle Buck, tell them how great that venue is.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. You know, I was not able to be there on last Fridays for the Dallas Mavericks game, but Tuesday was a blast. We got Brevin Knight and Rob Fisher to roll in with us. Parrish Sharkey got up on stage with us for a little bit, and we had fun for 45 minutes before the game even tipped off, and then had a blast hanging out with everybody in attendance on Tuesday night. And I'm sure, Rusty, you had just as much fun on Friday.
We did. I even got to be on stage with a whoop that trick with the one and only Al Capone, who we met on Tuesday. Memphis' own Al Capone was back Friday night. Rumor has it he's going to come through tonight. Heard Kinfolk Kiashan might be there, another Memphis rapper. Like, there's some cool stuff happening. Y'all be there 6 p.m. tonight. Uncle Buck, it's going to be a great time. Won't be the same without you, but it's going to be a great time tonight.
Yeah. I won't be able to make it tonight. Family stuff. It's just really hard during the middle of the week to get up there. But I will be there in spirit. I will be tuned in to you live on YouTube. And we'll all be watching the game together.
It's like Wayno said this morning, I may not be there in spirit, but if you drink enough, you'll see me in your spirits. So y'all come out tonight, hang out with us, but we're going to dive in on the show today.
All right, it's Tuesday, and you guys know what that means. It's everybody's favorite waste of time. It's where me and Buckets, best friends for over a decade now, just kind of catch up to the happenings of each other's weekend, and we concise it down to 2 points. Our biggest beef of the weekend and the best thing that happened to us this weekend. So, Rusty, I set them up. You knock them down. What's the best thing that happened to you this weekend?
Yes, sir. Every Tuesday, Thursday, live at 12 o'clock, we talk through our tomfooleries, and this is one of everybody's favorites here on the Two Buck Sports Show. I mean, for me, man, it's been these watch parties. They've been a blast hanging out with some of our other creators and, you know, getting to see some folks. Met Daniel Greer last week for the first time in person. Meeting some people, hanging out with Rob and Brev was awesome. And it's just cool to watch Memphis come out and let's hang out together. So y'all make sure y'all come out again tonight. Ghost River has been an incredible host. Bob and the group there have been just so kind to us and overly welcoming and just really rolled out the red carpet for us to host these watch parties. So y'all come out tonight and let's make this one another success. But I mean, it's just like, again, having a blast. And then this weekend was super low key, which was great. I needed that. I stayed here in Memphis and got some odds and ends stuff done. I went to the driving range and hit some golf balls. The short game, dude, I was throwing darts. 100 yards and in, I could hit it anywhere I wanted. Grabbed the long sticks, and we quickly went back and finished working on our short game.
Yeah, you don't want to end on a bad thing, you know. And when you're on the driving range, you always start with your short clubs and you work your way up. And like, I'm the same way. Once I get to the long stick, it's like, okay, I know I'm supposed to do this one last, but I don't want to end this way. So let's go back to the pitch and wedge, see how high I can hit this sucker.
That's it, or how close I can get to that 50-yard flag out there.
Yeah. My best, it's Easter weekend. And so obviously there was a lot of seeing family, which is great. Got to hang out with basically all the family, all the in-laws, all the outlaws. different times over the weekend. So, I mean, that was great. Probably the biggest thing is my wife and I helped put on a passion play at our church. I got to play old Lazarus.
Old Lazarus.
My wife played an adulterous woman. And so I have not died and come back, and she has not committed adultery. And so, but we tried to play the parts really well. And listen, it was a powerful service. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was 4 different shows over 3 days, and I shed a tear at all 4 of them. Awesome. I'm such a softie in my old age. Okay. But it was a powerful service, and Easter always gets me. I love the holiday, and I love just celebrating that. And it is a added bonus that you just get to see all your family while you do it. Yeah, so that's my best of the week by far. Rusty, what's your biggest beef other than the long stick?
Yeah, other than the long sticks, I'm going to do a backdated beef because I meant to talk about this last week. I don't know how I didn't talk about this, but 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, go to the Masters, we come back, and I had, I've never witnessed a war crime quite like this one in my life. So we land in Memphis, we flying in from Chicago on a small plane. It probably seats maybe 40 people. It's a small jet to go from Chicago to Memphis on United. We land, we taxi up to our gate. Well, there's a delay in getting off the plane. You know how it always is. There's always a delay when you get to your gate. Well, this grown man decided that was the moment. He has been sitting on low broil this whole flight. Just let it just bake. And we're sitting at the gate, and he turns around and looks, and Maggie and I are in the back left of the plane, the last 2 seats on this plane next to the bathroom. My man goes in there, commits an atrocity, comes out, and leaves the door open. Drew, there obviously with the back 8 seats, we're all like, oh my God. The lady in front of us is coughing. The guy next to me is like, man, what the heck? It smelled awful.
Sometimes you just gotta go.
At first, I felt bad for the guy. Everybody clearly knows it's him. Then I see that he left the door open, so we're all enjoying the London brawl that he just had in that bathroom.
Oh,
so finally, the guy across the aisle from me reaches back and slams the door, and the lady in front of me goes, "Thank you. That smelled horrendous." And I didn't feel bad for the guy who was standing right here. He was a part of those back 4 rows. He committed a war crime. There are literally laws against this, and the assault on
literally
there better be. I was assaulted, absolutely assaulted.
Oh man, you can't scan for those TSA. You never see those coming. That's
he's been sitting on this whole flight. We can't get off, and you leave the door open. You, sir, are a fool.
Listen, leave it to Rusty to complain about air travel on his way back from his luxurious trip.
Listen, bro, when you smell what I smelled, you will complain. It was awful.
I spend roughly 10 hours a week changing poopy diapers. I think
this would be up there. I
could handle it. No. My biggest beef of the week. Not getting the memo at work that it was Lineman Appreciation Day yesterday. And I'm not a lineman, but I do like to appreciate them in the form of free catfish platters at the warehouse. I went and got Subway yesterday because I was kind of feeling Subway. And I went home and ate it in my chair. And about 2 o'clock, I was asked, why didn't you come up here and eat all the free catfish and slaw and hush puppies and french fries? And I was like, that was today, huh? Okay. Guess who doesn't feel appreciated? So the first thing I did was I know that there's another big eating that I look forward to every year. It's crawfish season, and we do crawfish at the warehouse. And I went up, marched my tail up there this morning. I was like, what day is it? I'm writing it down because none of y'all are going to tell me when it's happening. So next Wednesday, do not bother me. I'm eating crawfish.
Be eating crawfish left and right. Hey, speaking of Lineman Appreciation Day, tomorrow is Administrative Professionals Day. So if you're working in an office and you run the office and you're an admin, whatever you do, thank you for what you do. That's a thankless job in most offices because you keep all knuckleheads like me and Uncle Bucky in line. So thank you for real. I've dropped off a couple gifts today. I'll drop off some more tomorrow on the actual day. But thank you for administrating the office, those of you who do that. It's Pam. Pam made up the job and she got paid for it. Yeah. Pam.
I'm considered administration, I think, at my work. I always get a gift on Administrative Professionals Day, but so do the receptionists. So, I mean,
yeah.
Maybe I'll get me a nice little pullover or something. Maybe a rain
or get you. Hey, they're going to bring you a leftover catfish plate. But with that, we got a lot of basketball to talk about today. The Grizzlies played an epic basketball game, a historic basketball game even on Sunday, and we got plenty to talk about. That's right. The Memphis Grizzlies have now got the back-to-back highest playoff point deficit in NBA history after that 51-point loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday. But the best way to do that, to get over that, is a pallet cleanser tonight, 6 p.m., Ghost River Brewing Company, 827 South Main. Come have some drinks and some wings with us. We'll drown our sorrows from Sunday and see what happens tonight, Uncle Buck. You know, we got a lot of basketball I do want to talk about. We found like the Athletic, the anonymous NBA player poll. I want to get to that. Do you want to do that first, or do you want to go ahead and get the Grizz off of our mind?
Let's please get the Grizzlies off of our mind.
Let's do it.
As Rusty said, Sunday at lunch, the day our Lord and Savior rose from the dead, the Grizzlies decided to shoot themselves in the head. A 51-point Game 1 loss against the Oklahoma City Thunder, a game that happened at lunchtime on Sunday. And for sane people who love Easter Sunday or just any normal Sunday, I didn't watch it. I opted out after checking the score 20 minutes into the game. After church, we got out of church at like 12:30, and I'm like, okay, it's a 5-point game in the first quarter. Let's go get the kids from the nursery, get to the car. And by the time we got to the car, it was 30. Yeah. And I was like, well, this saves me any heartache on this Sunday. So I'm just going to kind of check my phone every once in a while. Since then, I've dove in, to be a good podcast co-host and have thoughts. I did dive in, but I spared myself a dreadful Sunday by only caring about it on Monday.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting on my couch like this, just watching the whole thing. John Morant goes out towards the end of the first quarter, and it's 21-15. And when John Morant comes back in the second quarter, it was 51-20. It just got blown way out of proportion early. And Oklahoma City is not a team that you can dig a hole against and expect to come back. And the Grizzlies dug that hole in the second quarter. And by midway through the third quarter, Drew, they wanted to be back in their hotel room. They were completely over it. We waved the white flag and threw Luke Kennard in the fourth quarter. They absolutely quit, and it was embarrassing. And they are getting the proper treatment in the media. I listened to The Ringer. I've listened to several other podcasts as they've talked about it since then. And we are the laughing stock of the NBA right now, as we should be based on that performance on Sunday.
Oh, yeah, you just absolutely quit. And, there's been a lot made. This is one of the most difficult seasons that I've ever had, watching this team and having to talk about it at least 3 to 4 times a week about this team. It's been so challenging because all season long, there's been discourse between the fan base over who to blame for this.
Yeah.
And that's just not fun. And me and you argue over who to blame, whether it's coaches or players or front office or coaches, or there's just so much blame to go around. But the fact of the matter is, it's we're here. We talked last week, and I provided a devil's advocate over, is it better to just lose and have a loser's mentality? And we both land. You're very passionate, and I always land on the side of always be competitive, go try to win. Neither of us took into account that the team may just quit anyways once you get there. And I made the point. I was like, is it really better to get your playoff scars if you're going to lose every game by 25? Multiply that by 2, okay? You lost by 51. You do not feel better after game 1 than you did before game 1. And I can't imagine how you're going to feel good after a 4-game sweep. It's just disgusting. And they quit. And if you want to say Taylor Jenkins was a problem, fine. Well, they quit on Tumas as well. They are just quitting.
They are. And this is a season-long problem. This whole season is in the tank because of injury, because of coaching malpractice, coaching changes. But I still don't want to see people on Twitter taking a victory lap saying, see, we should have taken the pick. Because if you look back at our first-round picks, the 10th pick in 2021 was Zaire, flop. We traded 2020 or 2022 22nd pick for LaRavia. The 23rd pick in 2022
traded up to get LaRavia.
Right. The 23rd pick was David Roddy.
Yeah.
The 29th pick in 2022, LaRavia trade. Then we traded our 23rd, 24th, and 2023, 24, 25 first round picks in the Marcus Smart acquisition and dump. We wouldn't know what to do with that pick anyway. And then don't be that guy in the second quarter. I saw it pop up I got off of X for a while on Sunday because in the second quarter, people were saying, "See, I told you we should have taken the pick." Like we didn't know that Oklahoma City was going to boat race this team. That's like cheering for the Sun to rise.
We did know that.
We knew that was going to happen.
We didn't know it was going to be 51.
No, but you're not going to be competitive, especially in that first game when they've had a week off. But I don't want to see that mess on my timeline taking a victory lap for that.
I mean, if you're the first one to take victory laps when you think you're right, too. I mean, it happens.
But that's so lame. That's so lame.
But Rusty, you take your victory laps just as frequently as anybody else if you think you're right. And I'm not saying, if they think they're right, they've got a reason to think they're right after that game. You got beat by 51. There are no moral victories here, and there's no upside when you quit in a playoff game.
That's fair.
Anybody who wants to say, I don't want to watch any more of this and nothing good can come out of it, that is valid after one game. Nothing good can come out of quitting in a playoff game.
That's fair. I don't want to watch this team quit. I don't want to watch that either, but I'm going to show up. I want to root for this team, and I'm going to be believing that tonight we're going to be competitive. And then, I'm ready to get hurt. I'm like Michael Scott. But I have no doubt about it. I'm ready to get hurt again.
Yeah, and I'm all for taking the naive Pollyanna, tonight's the night. That's a more fun place to be at, okay? But there's also reality in here somewhere. Yeah. And the reality is that we average in the 4 regular season games, we got beat by an average of 19.5 points a game. And in a playoff game where you think the intensity should be up, you got beat by 51 and quit. If you can tell me right now, this series isn't going to be any better, you cannot convince me that it wouldn't have been better to at least have a 14th pick. The 14th pick is nothing. I do agree with you there. But we're talking about a 51-point blowout in the playoffs in which your players quit. There's no benefit of that.
There's a lot of benefit to that because here's what you can see. You can see let me tell you, you get to see the moxie and makeup of this team. We quit when the going got tough. They didn't listen to T.I. Our big 3 were laughing on the bench and couldn't give less of a crap about the game out on the court. So what it showed me, Drew, is that T.I. is not the guy. Every time we called a timeout and we came out of that timeout and he had drawn up a play, it resulted in a turnover every single time.
Yeah.
If this team is going to quit on him now and quit on each other, we're further away from a championship than I thought because there's no adult in the room. And you and I have been saying that for a long time. There's not an adult in this room. Yeah. Taylor wasn't it. T.I.'s not it. And the big 3 are not it. And so if we needed a 4-game belt to ass whipping from the Oklahoma City Thunder for climbing seat to get hot, for us to do a coaching search, then I'll take it because it's going to make us better in the long run, better than a 14th pick that we wouldn't know what to do with anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing that. I don't think that the 14th pick is necessarily something that you throw a playoff series for. But at the same time, this playoff series is awful. And I can't sit here after this is, I guess, game 85. And I've been saying I've been trying to convince you that the players are the problem more than the coach is the problem all season. And once again, you've got another coach here that the players don't find seriously. And we can talk about the, having an adult in the room. Well, Jiren's in year 7, Jaws in year 6, Desmond's in year 5, and he's the highest paid player on the team. You don't need a Jay Crowder. You shouldn't, not if these guys are legit. And if there's only one thing that can be exposed at this point for me, and it's the big 3. The big 3 can be exposed in this, and it has nothing to do with whether you win or lose. It's in the fashion in which you do lose.
That's what I'm saying. And
you watch every single playoff game was competitive to a point in all 7 of them, or I guess there was two game 2s last night. All 9 of them, except for the Memphis Grizzlies, they did not even care, and that is a glaring indictment. Yes, I've never been a fan of Tomas just because you never hire an interim, and so maybe we just learned that okay, he's not the guy either. But I've been saying that from the get-go, so you're not.
I'm not going to learn.
I wasn't going to be convinced the other way, but I cannot, in good conscience, spend a whole season talking about the players need to play basketball and care, and pressure should be taken off the coach for that, and for me to just blame T.I. at this point. Like, it's still the players. They've still got to play. And
so I mean, if anything, this like maybe makes I had said it was 60% Taylor Jenkins, probably 50% Taylor Jenkins, and 10% more goes to the players, because what we're seeing is they didn't care in the biggest moment, one of the biggest moments of the season. They didn't care. Now, coaching malpractice and all that kind of stuff led up to this moment, but now that's behind you, and it's time for you to like make adjustments and be a professional basketball player. And what's frustrating to me, and we can kind of get into the big 3 now for a few minutes. Like, I stand for Jiren. I stand for Jiren, and I have for years. And it's frustrating how bad he has played down the stretch. And then he looked awful in game 1. The energy has been completely different. Like, he is held to a different level of accountability and standard than Ja Morant. Because when Ja was purposely sitting out games and having rough games early because of injuries, it was, oh, it's the system. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Now it's Jiren's overhyped. Jiren's overpaid. He doesn't rebound enough. Jiren needs to go. We have to trade Jiren. Like, the energy is completely different. And when Kendrick Perkins agrees with your point, that's not a good thing. Like, Perk is an absolute clown. And anyway, I'm leaving those poor Spaces guys alone. They don't know any better. But I need to see Jiren step up tonight. I've stand for him for a long time, and game 1 was awful. I think Jiren is one of we're not even 2 months away from him being a top 6 MVP candidate. I need to see it tonight. I need him to go out. Like, he said that he has talked to his mentors and coaches and Tom Izzo and like all these guys, and they told him to be aggressive. That's great, Jiren. That's awesome. I'm glad you had those conversations. I need to see you be aggressive, because there's been nights this year where he's been aggressive and he's been the best player on the floor with some of the elite talent in the NBA. And in game 1, he shrunk when the lights were brightest.
Yeah. I mean, so did he. I mean, so did Desmond Bane. Honestly, Ja's shots didn't fall. And for the first time all season, I'm giving Ja a pass, because I saw that ankle get turned. I saw the injection, what it did for him against Dallas, and he was amazing. And a back-to-back would have been harder on him than anybody else on that team.
For sure.
Or not a back-to-back, but
a short rest.
A short rest with basically just a travel day in the middle.
Yeah.
Was harder on him than anyone. So I give Ja a pass. He was aggressive. He just missed them. And that's a symptom of
he left a lot short. He left a lot short, and that's usually indicative of an ankle injury.
Yeah. Short rest on a bum ankle. Like, I get it.
No.
But no, Jiren and Desmond Bane combined to be like 5 of 25.
25 is ugly.
Like, I mean, it's just disgusting. And Jiren is getting himself a rap sheet in this playoffs. Because in the playoffs, this is per Keith Parrish, who pulled this up off Basketball Reference. In his playoff game, so one in 2024, he went 2 for 13. So that means Dez went 3 for 12. He's went 3 for 12, 5 for 11, 5 for 15, 4 for 12, 5 for 12, 13 of 21 against the Lakers. The rest of them, his best night was 6 of 10. But, I mean, just absolutely atrocious in the playoffs. And this is what I keep going and telling everybody is, like, success for this Memphis Grizzlies team at this point of the road in the trajectory of this franchise with this big 3, and I am calling it a big 3 because it is a big 3. It is pass or fail based solely on playoff success. If Jiren is going to be a nothing in the playoffs, then I may have to change my tune. He's got 3 more games here to convince me otherwise, but I'm looking at 13 games in which only one of them he played well, and the other one he had a 60% shooting, but he only took 10 shots, and that's not a number 2 guy either. Like
This is
putting
what up concert dates.
This
That's funny.
Is going to show me.
Mm-hmm.
Wook Dog here. I've never seen this name before. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man. Yeah, for sure. Like
I don't know if he's calling us out here or not. If so,
he is.
Please,
he is because he follows it up with this about Ant had an ankle injury. So the excuse for Ja, I mean, like if you saw it, it was an ugly ankle turn. And then you turn around in 48 hours, you're playing the best team in the league on a week's rest. And so they came out to prove a point and to flex. They had blood in the water. I'm curious tonight how much healthier Ja's going to be. But like you said, we can't have two of our big three laying absolute eggs in the playoffs.
No. And you know what? Ant's better than Ja. Like, I don't think anybody at this point is arguing that. The ship has sailed on that for me. And yes, Luke Dog, I do call it a big three because it is. And I've been saying it all year. And it's a big three, not that they're necessarily the three of the top 20 players in the NBA, but it's because you need all three of them to be successful. Yeah. And anytime you've seen any of them, you've seen Ja Morant carry a team by himself. It's very difficult, and it won't happen nearly as often in the playoffs. But if Ja Morant doesn't have it, you've got to have Jiren and you've got to have Dez. And Ja on a bum ankle got nothing from Jiren and Dez.
It's so frustrating because we've watched Jiren carry this team on his back for the better part of 2 years. And a lot of that, Drew, leads to Ja and Jiren's game not lining up. They haven't played consistent minutes together for the past 2 seasons. And so that's a big part of why they just don't mesh. They meshed previously in earlier years. In 21, the playoff run, they played better together. But over the course of this year, I think a lot of that time away from one another has shown in some struggles in a new system, a goofy system, all that. But like, if they're ever going to figure it out, tonight's the night, because this team is like, we can sit here and be cute and say, you know, we need this from Santi, or we need Edie to get so many rebounds, or Jitty to get minute. Like, it doesn't matter if Ja Dez and Jiren don't play and don't play well.
I'm a broken record on this. I've said it in regards to Taylor Jenkins. Like, none of it matters if you don't have all three of your players playing all the minutes together and playing well. Like I just don't want to talk about Edie. I don't want to talk about Luke Kennard. I don't want to talk about Santi Aldama. It doesn't matter if your big three play. And if your big three are not playing well, and then we're going to complain about Edie, or complain about coaching, or complain about Santi, like, we're missing the forest for the trees here. The big three have to be amazing, especially when you're playing a freaking buzzsaw, which is the Oklahoma City Thunder,
who have hit on draft picks. They put in the right vets. Like, that team, I was talking about this morning, like, that team is and I was in the comments yesterday on No Bluffing's show. If you haven't watched that, check it out. No Bluffing's live on Sunday, drops on Mondays. But like, the biggest thing with us, like, I completely lost my train of thought trying to hype them up. Oh, SGA has been completely surrounded by the best complementary players that they could have for him. The things he doesn't do well, they've got Hartenstein to rebound, Caruso to defend at a high level. They've got big bodies around him. They built that team.
Jay Will, Chet, all those guys are drafted. I mean, the only two non-drafted players that play for that team are
there's three: Hartenstein and SGA, and they got SGA basically in a salary dump. Yeah. They got him in a salary dump from the Clippers.
No, they got him in the Paul George trade.
And that's what, like, he was just a move in a. They got him in 2 picks
coming off of a rookie year. Yeah,
they got him in 2 picks, and so like they built a team, but like they hit on Jay Will from who saw that guy being this awesome, but like he's big and can shoot, and like we've got to figure some things out. One of the things I wanted to talk about, we've kind of already hit on it, is like our expectations for the rest of the series and what this means for the big three going forward. I need to see, is this team built around Ja Morant and Jiren Jackson Jr. enough to be able to be competitive? Do we need to move some of our younger pieces? What does that look like going forward? Like,
I need to see more games.
I need to see if this team is going to be more competitive this series.
I don't need to see any more games. They're not good enough. The edge pieces are not good enough. They're just not. We could talk about re-signing Santi. I think I'm in favor. We could talk about GG or Vince Williams Jr. They've turned into absolute pumpkins. Jalen Wells is good for a rookie. He's a finalist for the rookie of the year. He's fine. None of it's good enough. None of it's good enough to compete for a Western Conference Finals.
to a little bit of defense. I agree. It's not good enough. And I think that we're still, even if this didn't happen, I still think we're far enough away. But Gigi and Vince got robbed of an entire season because of injury. Gigi got hurt in August, missed fall camp, missed all the season, came back in February, was thrust into a role that he's never really had before in a goofy system. Vince has been on and off hurt, and I don't know that Vince is 100% because a grade 3 ankle sprain is a high-level basketball injury. So, like, I'm not completely I'm not throw him out. Let's move him in a trade this summer. I would like to see what we have in one of those because Vince at times last year and Gigi at times last season were awesome. And so it's there. We've just got to get them fully healthy, full off season in a system, and then see what we have.
I'm not out on any of the three of them. And put Edie in there as well. I'm not out on Edie either.
Edie's going to be great, man.
However, none of them are off limits to go get a guy. None of them. Nobody except for the big three right now is off limits. You've got to go get some help, a legitimate help that can hold up in a playoff series.
Like I said,
there's a real case to be made, including I made the case on trade deadline day that maybe we shouldn't freak out about not going and getting a guy because the asking price was obviously going to be too high, and the asking price was GG or Vince. And I was okay with not making the trade. I'm on the other side now. Get rid of them if you can go get another guy that can help us right now because I'm so sick of being 1 year away, man. I can't take it. And Tomas being retained as the head coach is just another sign that we're not going to compete against and again next year. Like,
agreed.
I'm so sick of being 1 year away.
I'm with you when it comes to Vince. I'll move Vince. I still want to see what we have in Gigi with a full off season and a full season under his belt. But because this could work, like the salaries work, and like if Joe Dumars goes in full rebuild mode, you could get a Herb Jones from a salary standpoint, a sign and trade with Santi, and then moving Vince. And if that's what it takes to get that guy, great. If not, you let Santi walk. You call Jonathan Kuminga. Yeah, he can't score at a high level, but he defends and he rebounds well. That's what we need the most.
I don't want any part of Jonathan Kuminga.
I would take Kuminga in a heartbeat.
He's a chucker.
With his defense,
and Herb Jones thing is like, it's fine, but he's dealt with injury issues too, and he's never played in a playoff series either. I think you're kind of adding somebody with the same deficiencies. I only care about playoff success. Like, that's it. And
I'm still not out on Cam Johnson. Revisit that this offseason for sure.
That's all that's
he's
fine.
Played in a finals. He was on that Suns team that if they didn't get goofy and blow it up, that would be a perennial finals team. He was a contributor on that team.
Well, let me ask you a question now. Because we're going to get into a segment to where we're going to go through a couple of player and GM kind of decision maker anonymous poll that the Athletic did. Let me ask you a question to put a bow on this before, as a kind of a look ahead. Is there anything in game 2? We'll just talk about tonight's game. What is success for tonight for you? To where when we're talking tomorrow morning on the daily grind, we're not just miserable like I am today.
I think
is it just sheer competition?
It's competitiveness, man. It's showing up, being tough. It's showing toughness. Like, you got punked on national television, punched in the mouth, and everybody's laughing at you. I need to see some pride in that name on the front of the jersey. Like, it matters to me way more than it should. God bless Maggie. I talk about the Memphis Grizzlies more than I talk about anything else. Like, it matters to me. And it may not matter to them as players, but like, it matters to me. It matters to the fans. It matters to this city. I need to see some grit. I need to see some toughness. I need to see Ja being aggressive, Jiren being aggressive, Edie being himself, Desmond getting downhill. Like, I need to see some competitive fire tonight. If we go out and we lose by 15, but we're competitive and it's like 130 to 115, and we gave it, like, our big three have 28 apiece, and we have played our tails off, then I can hang my hat on that tomorrow and say, you know what, we're just outmatched. But to be outmatched and to quit and to be tough and to be soft, I can't tolerate that.
Well,
I can't tolerate that.
You've seen it in every other playoff series. You know, on Sunday it was 4 games, and all 4 games were the 7 and 8 seeds that won their respective play-ins against 1 and 2 seeds.
Mm-hmm.
The Grizzlies got beat by 51. You saw Orlando hung with Boston for a half until they just couldn't hang anymore. No harm, no foul. They're not as good as Boston. Breaking news. Okay.
Yeah.
You look at Cleveland and Miami. Miami hung with them for a long time. Heat culture carried them for a long time in that game, but Cleveland is just better.
Yeah.
And then Golden State beat Houston. Okay. And then you had the Grizzlies who could not even wash their laundry after that game. Like it was disgusting. And so if there's one thing that could make me not dread the daily grind in the morning, it is just hanging in there, seeing a heartbeat and playing well. Your big three playing well. Like,
and the perfect example of it.
Them play well. If we lose by 20, we lose by 20. But I need to see that they play well. That the foundation isn't cracked.
And I look at the Pistons game last night against the Knicks. I do want to get your opinion just like briefly on some of the other playoffs. For me, I'll talk Pistons Knicks. I think that one and the Clippers Nuggets is going to be the best two series. But last night, the Pistons went to Madison Square Garden. They weathered a Jalen Brunson foul show in the fourth quarter because they were hanging around. They were being tough, and they found a way to win. I didn't have Dennis Schroeder hitting the game-winning shot and game-icing free throws, but here we are, 20 points from Schroeder for the Pistons last night. But there's the blueprint. You be tough. You hang around. You let your superstar play. Cade Cunningham was amazing last night. 33-12 for that Pistons team. But that's what you do. You be competitive. You be tough. You hang around late, and a ball bounces your way, a turnover, a missed shot happens, and you have a shot to win the game. I don't know that the Grizzlies are going to be that, but like if you can be within a handful of possessions late because you're playing tough, like then I'm good with that. The Pistons, again, gave you the blueprints. You just go be tough and play aggressive in a hostile environment, and good things happen.
Yeah. All respect to the Pistons on that. And the Knicks are flawed. So they're going to win this series.
They literally put Cat in the corner for the entire second half.
They put him on the bench, and Tom Thibodeau did not close with Karl Anthony Towns and chose instead to go with Mitchell Robinson because Mitchell Robinson was the only one rebounding. He
had that putback dunk in the first half that was amazing as well.
Yeah, and there's no doubt in my mind the best series is going to be the Clippers and the Nuggets. As you've seen two of those games, they split them. And both of them have been absolutely amazing.
And last night you have
basketball, big boy basketball. I love seeing all these scores for playoff games be in the low 100s because the refs are letting them play physically, with the exception of Detroit is not allowed to play physical with the Knicks
Jalen
at
Brunson.
all. With Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, Jacoby on the Ringer this morning with Verno was talking about he grew out braids specifically so his head it looks worse when he does this.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the James Harden beard theory. I've always said that about James Harden because you see the beard because it's down to here. Every time he throws that head back, you just see a beard, and you're like, oh, he must have got hit.
What I appreciate though, after that Clippers Nuggets game, like they tried to interview Kawhi and Jokic and all these guys, and they were exhausted, hands on their knees, huffing, just like those guys were
it's a war
last night.
It's a war.
A battle.
And I think that's the frustrating part is because I think as Grizzlies fans, you knew the score going into this Thunder series, and they weren't prepared to go to war. I mean, the pesky little United States beat Great Britain, okay, and we all wanted to be like, if the Grizzlies were to have upset the Thunder in this series, it would have been a bigger upset than the Southpaw from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, defeating a Russian lab rat and communism. Okay. That would be a bigger upset. Yeah. I just want to see you fight, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. Have some pride in that name on the front of your jersey. That's all I want to see tonight.
And outside of league-wide, I can't wait for another Houston Golden State game because it's just two fun matchup styles going against each other. The all big, no offense versus Steph Curry. Like that's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
That's probably the other ones I think are more likely to end pretty quickly. All of the play-in teams, I don't think any of them really stand a chance to go past 5.
Yeah, but I think that Pacers-Bucks series, the Bucks are getting Dame back tonight. Dame's back for his first game since the blood clots, and so that's going to be great.
Dame was screaming at Halliburton. So
I will absolutely. I'm gonna be at Ghost River Brewing, 827 South Main Street tonight, watching the Grizzlies at 6:30. But I'm gonna have this one on my iPad, watching Dame go nuclear tonight against the Pacers. And so, Drew, let's talk NBA survey. You kind of keyed it up earlier. There was an anonymous NBA player poll in 2025 that goes out. They do this every year. They polled most of the polls are around 130 to 150 players answered. And let's talk through what the NBA players think about postseason awards and certain teams.
All right. So let's just I screenshot a bunch of these, but let's just go through it. Obviously the first question was MVP. Shea, SGA in a landslide, getting 56% of the votes. Nikola Jokic getting 37. We don't have to talk about that, I don't think. Neither of us really care for SGA.
No, and Jokic is the most valuable player to his team, period. Like, the plus minus without SGA is basically the same. Which
team other than your own will win the title this year? 57.7% of votes cast said Boston. Next was Oklahoma City at 17.5%.
That series, that would be must watch TV. A Thunder Celtics final would be incredible.
The second biggest vote getter from the West were the Lakers. So, which I think I do buy that.
Really, with no bigs, no post game to speak of.
You've got Luka and you've got LeBron. I don't really care about.
We'll see.
Listen, stars win championships. Period.
They didn't look great in game one. Yeah. We'll see what they look like tonight in game two.
It's a particularly difficult matchup with Minnesota. I just think they outlast them
because they don't have anything in the post, and that's what Minnesota is. It's big.
Yeah. 5 years from now, who will be the face of the league? 54% of the 138 votes was Victor Wembanyama. Anthony Edwards, 13%. SGA, almost 11%. Tatum, 6.5%. Ja Morant, 2.2%.
Hang on. Astronomo, welcome to the show, man. We're glad you'd be here. Head to the torture chamber. That's amazing.
It's true.
I don't think I've seen that, but that's really good.
You never seen torture chamber?
That's the first
in basketball. Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's old news. Yeah,
literally just saw that. Welcome, Astronomo. Thanks for being here, man.
Yeah. There was league's most overrated player.
Yeah.
There's an overwhelming favorite on this with 14.5% of the votes. Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert, number 2, which I mean that's speaking my love language there.
That tracks.
Trey Young, number 3. I totally agree.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler's next. I do not agree.
I will agree in the regular season, but playoff Jimmy is a real phenomenon.
Yeah. Ja Morant, 4.4%, tied for I guess that'd be fifth with Beal, Draymond, Julius Randle, and
Beal slightly behind. Yeah. And then Jiren got 2.2. So out of 90 votes that were cast, Jiren got 1 vote and Ja got like 3, essentially.
Okay. Well, it seems a lot less daunting than when you put it that way.
It's only 90 votes. That's what I'm saying. Like this. So I'm glad we got to this because this has been used to drag Jiren Jackson Jr. on Twitter today. But 2% of 90 is like 2 votes. And so
it's maybe the correct message, but the wrong data point to use. Like,
I mean, that's it.
There's some. I went through it on this show just like 15 minutes ago of some better data to use than that.
Especially if you go to the next one, who is the league's most underrated player. He got more votes to be an underrated player by the league than underrated.
Yeah, that was going next. So Ja got 3 votes. You said as the most overrated.
Yeah.
The underrated player, he was also no, he wasn't on that one.
Ja was not, but Jiren was underrated.
League's best organization.
Yeah, Jiren got 1 vote. Hang on, sorry. Jiren got 1 vote to be overrated. He got 3 votes to be underrated. So there you go.
Okay. The league's best organization, Golden State, number 1, 22%. Oklahoma City, 17.5%. Boston, 15.5%, roughly. I think you can make a case for all 3 of them. I would probably put Oklahoma City number 1.
I would too, just because Golden State, like they hit on Steph Clay and Draymond, and then that's kind of been it.
But they just got that's Jimmy all that matters Butler, when you get.
I guess I was about to say, like those are great things to hit on, but they haven't done a lot outside of that. So I would probably edge Boston and Oklahoma City slightly ahead of them.
The league's worst organization. Wait, let me go back here and look at something real quick. The Memphis Grizzlies were 1.5 on the best organization, 1.5%. So out of 137 votes, you can do the math. A handful. You 2 or 3, 5 votes, something like that.
I'll do the math.
The league's worst organization, Charlotte Hornets, 38. The only way you could argue with Charlotte is with the number 2 vote getter here, the Washington Wizards, at 20%. So make your case for either one of them. I don't care. They both dumpster trash.
Abysmal.
Memphis Grizzlies got 1.8, so probably got a vote.
They got one, like a little. It said like 1.5, like it's like 1.4 votes.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But they got like we'll say 2 votes as the worst organization, and they got 2 votes as the best. So you've got some players who think they're great, some that don't, and it's 4 people.
I would argue with anybody that says that has an argument one way or the other. Like both of those, all of those people are wrong. They're not the best. They're not the worst.
No, but we're not that far. We're like 12 years removed from ESPN voting us the best franchise in all sports.
Yeah,
2013.
So aside from your own coach, this one was interesting to me. Aside from your own coach, who is the best coach in the league? Mark Daigneault, receiving almost 22% of the votes, ahead of Kenny Atkinson in his first year at Cleveland, and Eric Spoelstra, who the next 4 vote getters, 3 through 6, I'd take over anybody, and that would be Spoelstra, Mazzulla, Ty Lue, and Steve Kerr.
Yeah,
and then Greg Popovich. Mark Daigneault is obviously got him a buzzsaw, and if this thing sticks for a long time, which I don't see any reason why it wouldn't, he's going to go down. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to go down as one of the greatest coaches of all time.
Yeah.
But right now, I'd still give the edge to Steve Kerr or the reigning champion coach Mazzulla or the history
Ty Lue. Like Ty Lue is just coaches at a high level for sure.
Also receiving votes. I'm going to go from the bottom.
You got 2 votes.
I'm going to go from the bottom. Quinn Snyder, fired. Taylor Jenkins, fired. Chauncey Billups and Michael Malone, fired. So, Taylor Jenkins getting votes. Okay.
Got 2 votes.
I voted in this poll. Okay. Breaking news. JJ Redick, hot take. If it weren't for Mark Daigneault, I would probably think about him for coach of the year.
Yeah, JJ Redick. Yeah. JJ's done an awesome job. Hey, the coach of the year, though, Kenny Atkinson's going to run away with coach of the year, though.
No, Daigneault's going to win that thing.
You think so? I mean, Kenny, it's
hard to. They've won like 68 games this year. So.
But like Cleveland went on 2 different 15-game winning streaks. Like they're an absolute buzzsaw, just like Oklahoma City. I need
you to go read Sham's latest tweet here live on the air.
Oh boy.
I'm not reading it, so you're gonna have to.
Why you gonna make me read it?
Anthony Edwards just got fined $50,000 for a comment made during the game, and you're reading the comment that got him fined.
Oh God. All right. The NBA is finding Minnesota's Anthony Edwards $50,000 for saying my D bigger than yours. Comments to the Lakers fans Saturday night. It got caught live on camera, and it's looking at the camera saying it. I saw the clip. Like, he just letting them know.
That's as they were chanting child support at him. Okay? Like, they're chanting child support at Anthony Edwards as he's flaming them in the crypto arena.
Oh, he's amazing.
And his response, the ultimate heel. Anthony Edwards is the best, man. I love a heel.
He is an absolute heel.
All right. Aside from your own coach, who's the worst coach in the league? All right, Rusty, if you can tell me who Brian Keefe coaches, I'll buy your lunch.
Brian Keefe?
We're in the playoffs, and I don't know who he coaches.
I ain't got a clue.
Like
right? Charlotte or Washington? Like, I ain't got a clue.
Charlotte.
Brian.
You know who's not listed on this list? Taylor Jenkins.
Jeez. Brian Keefe is an American professional basketball coach who is the head coach of the Washington Wizards. Yeah. And I don't know what a Brian Keefe would look like, but it's that.
Imagine it's like an accountant.
That's it. Like, that's what Brian Keefe would look like.
Also on that list, Charles Lee, who is the coach at Charlotte. Nick Nurse, Thibodeau Darko, former Grizzlies assistant. Doug Christie, who is an interim. That's not fair.
Not fair.
Jordy Fernandez and Michael Malone, who has been relieved of his duties.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This one's fun, and we'll end on this one. Have you seen all of these? You thumbed through the articles?
I didn't get to the bottom. I've been going as we go.
Okay. Well, don't look at this one. I'll do a quiz. All right. Which player in the league would you least like to fight? This is a question in which 141 votes were cast.
So the first two that come to mind are Beef Stew.
Yeah. Okay. Beef Stew, number 2.
Least like to fight.
What was the other one you thought of?
Well, my first thought was the neck tattoo from the Grizzlies.
Former Grizzly?
Former Grizzly James Johnson.
Number 1.
Let's go. No way.
3% of the vote. He's a black belt.
Let's go.
And he's just a goon. Like, he's an enforcer. Number 3, also former Grizzly.
Steven Adams.
Let's
Let's
Number
go. Not
4,
even Dylan Brooks.
Number 4, the Dorture Chamber. Lou Dort.
Torture Chamber, yeah.
Number 5, former Memphis Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Duren.
Yeah.
Brooke Lopez got a vote, which is odd. And Zion Williamson. Just sheer girth alone for Zion.
That's it. Just size, man. Just sheer size there. That's all that is.
So,
that's incredible.
There were some other questions at the end, like, is the 3-point shooting, the increased volume of 3-point shooting, is it good or bad for the league? Analytics, positive or negative. We could spend a whole show on that. We're at the 53-minute mark. We're gonna just go ahead and put a pin in the Athletic article, but that was a lot of fun to go through.
Yeah, agreed. I'd be curious, like, to learn like what the players thought about all the tournaments that we're doing too. Like, there's still like Trey Young voiced his opinion on the play-in yesterday, which I don't know that I necessarily disagree a whole lot with it. Adam Silver loves some tournaments. I'd love to know what the players truly think about all these tournaments.
I have a hard time taking Trey Young at caring what Trey Young thinks about it, because he is Mr. Play-in.
For sure.
And his team rarely ever makes it out of them. And
I just don't care about Trey Young in general. I don't care about him in general, but
and the thing is I get it. I think, like, if you're the 8 seed, like the Grizzlies were the 8 seed, they ended up as the 8 seed, but like, would they have rather just had the week off and played Oklahoma City? Probably. But this is an entertainment sport. Mm-hmm. And for the first time ever, you got a 10 seed advancing into the tournament through the play-in. And the Grizzlies in the past were a 9 seed and won 2 games to get into the playoffs. Like, there is good that comes out of it too. I tend to be on the side that any increased drama is good. And if you want to cut anything out, cut regular season games. I don't want to cut the play-in.
Well, the players, I did see they overwhelmed, which we'll talk more about it later, but they overwhelmingly voted no to shortening the quarters to 10 minutes. And all that is for ad revenue.
You can't do that. You don't short that's a stupid.
Short the games. Just
that ruins the record books. That null and voids the record books. Yeah. When you're going from 48 to 40, you just shorten the amount of games played.
I could be talked into that. But that's going to do it for our show today. Thank you for hanging out with us on your lunch break on Tuesday. Went a little long today. We had a lot to cover, but y'all come hang with us tonight. 827 South Main Street, downtown Memphis, Tennessee. The best venue to watch a game. There's going to be plenty of great drinks, plenty of great food. Come hang out. Be a friend of somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, there are no refunds for what you hear on the $2 Sports Show.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Go Grizz! Shock the world!
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next time.